underestimate the power of PlayStation.
Beyond. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Beyond, episode 207. Had to look at the page for that. Hadn't practiced this intro. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside PlayStation Team's powerhouse, Ryan Clements.
Konnichiwa.
You're officially back from TGS.
Yes.
If you haven't listened to the Resistance 3 spoiler cast yet, don't worry. We did one. You can go listen to it whenever you want. That was your official return, but this is your official Podcast
This is my
Beyond.
official, double official return.
In continuity of Podcast Beyonds, this is the one that counts.
This is the one that counts. This is when I'm back from Nihon, and I am here in the States.
All right, good. We don't have a lot to talk about there. He only does everything. Colin Moriarty.
I like orange juice.
Orange juice.
What was it? What's the...
Banana
there it
muffin.
is. And making his Podcast Beyond debut from oneup.com, Ryan Winterhalter. How are you, Ryan?
I am good. I did not get to go to TGS, unfortunately. I'm kind of jealous of everyone who did.
Okay.
So in the One Up crew, I had the privilege of going with, let's see, the Scooter was there, Matt Leon was there.
Is that what Scooter is now called?
No,
the Scooter?
I said Scooter was there.
You said
the
the
Scooter.
No.
The Scooter was there.
Definitely
You're
did
welcome
not
when
say
you
that.
edit the podcast to go back and re-listen.
I want to pause right now and go
All right,
back.
go ahead.
No, don't do it.
Okay, fine.
Anyway, the Scooter was there, Matt Leon was there, and Jeremy Parrish was there.
Yeah,
We all
the
had a
three of them
blast.
went.
Except the funny thing is I pretty much saw them cumulatively for about an hour for that entire week and a half that we were over there.
Oh,
Barely-
probably. TGS
barely
is
saw
crazy.
them around.
Yeah, I
So-
covered TGS for One Up the year before that, and it was an absolute mess.
Madness.
It was,
Yeah.
it was crazy.
It was good though. Good times.
Okay.
Except for a few, there were some hitches here and there, but otherwise it was good show.
You had a good show. You liked
Yeah.
it. Yeah, you put out some killer content. You did really well.
Thank you very much.
Colin and I were happy. We were here working late nights, seeing you over there, posting your reviews, posting your
My
funny
reviews?
videos.
You were just reviewing games.
just reviewing games.
You
all
know
the
that
time.
game's not even out yet.
97% of our audience can't differentiate between a review and a preview, so whatever.
We had a blast. I mean, should I talk about it now or later?
I think now, because we're a conversational podcast.
Okay,
Seems like we
cool.
stumbled into it. It's happening.
Yeah, is it happening?
Is it happening?
Well, yeah. What do you guys? Do you guys have any particular questions, or you want to hear anything?
Best Vita game you saw? What's the Vita? Because correct
yeah.
me if I'm wrong. You and Keza put up a video about how awesome Vita is and how much you want one right now.
Yes.
And it seems like that you think in that you said that, or she said that was the Vita was like the highlight of the show.
Oh, absolutely. And I would say that anyone was there. I'm sorry I turned to you and you didn't get a chance to go. I wanted your one-up opinion in on this.
Oh.
But it's it was. I would say that the Vita booth area of the Sony corner of the show had like the longest lines. I mean, it was usually 70 to 90 minutes just to play one game, and yeah, that was absolutely the highlight of that show. That show is basically Vita and then other stuff. So, and I would say that my game of the show is actually a Vita game called Gravity Days. So it's one of the Sony Japan Studio games.
I think I watched your preview of this because you
Yes.
did like a why I'm excited about it. This is like
Yes,
you're running
why
up
I'm
walls.
pumped.
You're running up walls and beating
Yeah,
the hell out of
so
things.
it's so fucking rad. All right, so what it is it's from Sony Studio, so it's like Sony's internal Japan studio. So they're talented folks over there. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they've made some games.
They've made some games, and it is kind of a third person. I want to say like an action platformer, but what you do is you can, when you tap the right trigger, she kind of like loses her sense of gravity and she like drifts up into the air, and then you
This
can
is my
use,
nightmare, by the way.
You can you can use either the right analog stick. It's so great to say that on a portable.
Yeah.
But you can sort of aim it around, and you can also use the gyroscope to like give it some fine tuning.
Gotcha.
But you basically point at a surface, any surface, and when you tap R again, she suddenly starts falling towards that surface like that was her new floor. And you can kind of just go, like you can basically like get on a train that's going sideways and then like run along
wow.
the train, and there's just shit going on, and there's this cat, and the cat is following you around, and it has the universe on its fur, and it's quite amazing.
What is the cat's name?
I don't think it was all in Japanese, so I missed that part. I actually don't know what the main character's name is either.
Do you know how long this game has been in development?
No, I don't.
Because
But
you have to add about 6 years to the development of anything that comes out of Japanese studios and so.
Is that what you have to do?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's just Last Guardian syndrome. I don't know if that's with every product they make, or else they would have never put out any games.
You never heard of a game called Gran Turismo 5 from Polyphony, apparently.
Well, that's Polyphony, though.
I know.
That's
That's
not...
another Japanese
Yeah.
Sony studio.
Well, anyway. All right, Colin. Look, I guess we have to be negative now, huh?
Really, what else do you expect from Colin?
But what was the other thing I wanted to say about Gravity Days? Oh yeah, so I had the good fortune of meeting one of the producers from the Japanese team over there who spoke English. He's a super nice dude. Actually, huge IGN fan. He came over to
Who
us.
isn't?
He came over to us and he was like, "You guys are from IGN?" And I was like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I'm a big fan. And I was like, wow, really? Why? It's amazing. That's always my first question. But he basically was telling me that one of the things he was most excited about this game is that the composer of the music is like super famous in the Japanese anime and video game scene. Like he's composed all the music for One Piece, which is one of the most legendary anime over there. He's composed it for, and then I totally forgot after One Piece. Unfortunately, I had it all thought out and I just messed it up. So all in all,
good job.
Vita.
Yeah.
Oof,
Okay.
man. Could not wait. And Ni no Kuni is going to be awesome, and that's confirmed for a U.S. release.
That looks absolutely amazing.
Yes. Do you want to talk about it?
Well, no, I haven't seen it I was at the press conference in 2010, I think, when they debuted Vita. Not Vita, Ni no Kuni.
Yes.
And it looked absolutely astounding, but the whole presentation was all about the DS version. So they had like 45 minutes on the DS version and then 5 minutes of amazing animation.
Yeah.
And then they're like, yeah, we'll get around to this eventually.
Yeah, that was the PS3 version.
I'm excited to see that the PS3 version is actually making it over here because the DS version did not.
For those of you that don't know, Ni no Kuni is a collaboration between two of like the most salivating inducing Japanese teams. You have Level 5, which is obviously produced everything from Rogue Galaxy and Dark Cloud and
your favorite game of all
White
time.
Knight Chronicles.
White Knight Chronicles.
Yes.
Man, I keep forgetting. That was them, huh?
Yep, it was.
Yeah, that was a little misstep, I think, on their part. But anyway, I think overall they have a phenomenal pedigree, and then also studio. I want to say, so I was told recently that I've been saying it wrong forever. So, because I always say Ghibli, but like it might actually be Ghibli.
No, it's actually Atari.
Really,
You've been
thank you.
screwing some
Studio
of it up.
Atari.
It's Ghibli.
It's Ghibli,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay, so and they're obviously the animation studio behind Princess Mononoke and Howl's Moving Castle and Totoro, or not Totoro. Or wait, yes,
Yeah,
Totoro?
no, they did Totoro.
Yeah, they did Totoro.
Yeah.
And so the game has this. It looks like one of those movies. It looks
Yes.
like a Hayao Miyazaki movie
Yes,
And-
except in motion.
in motion. And
Well,
you
I
can
guess the movies are in motion also.
And you can control
I
it.
meant to say in 3D,
Moving
graphics.
pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
moving pictures.
And so it's like playing. For a Japanese audience, it would be the equivalent of like being able to play a Disney movie because Studio
Yes.
Ghibli is like the Disney of Japan.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and it's just looks really
I
phenomenal.
think the game looks cool,
Keza
too.
was flipping out about it. One of our
Screaming next to you.
one of our writers in the UK from our UK office.
She's gonna have to import it because no word on a European release for that game, as far as I know. But yeah, when I wrote that story when it broke on our side, and I was like, okay, this is cool. I'm excited. This game looks cool. Like you said, good pedigree for those two companies and stuff. But then people were like going crazy in the
Yeah, that
comments.
article exploded. Like it's weird to see that kind of response to a game that like I think is under a lot of people's radar.
Yeah, and the DS version. So I did a little research too because the DS version is technically supposed to be the same game, but it's actually not.
No, yeah, it's like a different game.
I guess they talked to one of the Japanese blogs recently, and there was a translation of it, and they were just saying like the only thing that's the same in the game is like similar story arcs or whatever, but everything else is different. So they are different games, and the DS version came out in Japan in 2010, so they probably just did that one first.
Yeah, well, and there's no way it could because the DS version came with this. It doesn't have sort of in-game tutorials. It just comes with a giant 300-page book.
Awesome.
And like
It's 300 pages.
Yeah.
No
and,
way.
Yeah, and
Really?
so when you're playing it and you come across an enemy, the way you find out how to beat this enemy is you have to look up this creature's entry in the book, and it's supposed to be this is the book that the character carries around with him and uses.
I like that idea. That's a cool
I mean,
idea.
it is a cool idea. I also have always been fond of instruction manuals from back in the day.
Yeah, man.
So
Like
Colin
Dragon-
and I are all about it.
All the Dragon Warrior games came with those like awesome foldouts with a picture of every enemy and their hit points and where they are on the map, and so I love that shit.
Compared to nowadays where you get just sort of
You get
an-
a link-
You get
a link
one piece
to
of
a
paper.
website.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I played NHL 12, the instruction manual, there was just a piece of paper in it, and it said the instruction manual was on the disc or something like that. I'm like, cool, cool guys.
And let me see what else was. So there was just in general the Vita. I'm so excited for that platform that it's the kind of thing, and this is really rare for me. It's the sort of thing where I'm even excited for the games which I know aren't even going to be good. So I'm excited. Like
Which ones?
I would totally like. I'm totally going to probably play and buy Monkey Ball for Vita.
No,
I'm
we
gonna-
don't fall for that.
Why?
We all fell for that Wii trap with them. Remember when the Wii came out and Monkey Ball, and you're trying to convince yourself it didn't suck.
I don't know. Did you play Shinobi Do?
No, I didn't.
No, I played that on the Vita at E3. I think that was one of the worst games I played at E3.
I played that one, right? Where you're the ninja, but it's like sneaking ninja stuff.
And it's like Tenchu 1 with
Yeah.
worse controls.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Ooh, Well,
that sounds
I
great.
don't know. All I'm saying is that the device itself is so exciting.
Yeah,
that
you
I
want to
just
have stuff to do
I
on
just
it.
I just want to have stuff. And considering their lineup, I mean, it's looking pretty good.
The litmus test for what you will and won't buy. Are you going to buy Reality Fighters?
Probably not.
Oh my
Okay.
god, that game looks. That really doesn't look like a good game.
I have a vote of no confidence in Gravity.
Yeah.
Or what? Reality Fighters.
I mean, out of all the Vita games, because I played a lot of Vita games at E3 and then a lot of them in Gamescom, and there was really only a few where I'm like, I'm not excited about this game at all.
All right, so then what are the ones that are good, do you think? Like
Oh
right
god,
now?
your phone's ringing.
That's Jace Hall, everybody, if you didn't know.
I think Ruin looks awesome. I'm really excited about that game.
Good.
Yeah, Gravity Days
don't
looks
want to, 'cause
cool.
I don't have to go out and
Uncharted,
do
Burning
work.
Skies looks awesome. I'm like so excited about Burning Skies just because it's an authentic.
I'm not gonna-
dual
Beyond
analog.
comes first.
Are you guys done talking on the side and ruining the podcast? You're done with that, right? Okay, cool.
No, I'm going to talk the entire podcast and ruin it. I'll let you know.
Yeah, I think Burning Skies is the game I'm most excited about just because it's I'm a huge Resistance fan, but also it's a real dual analog shooter on a handheld, which has never been done before, and it feels awesome. So, but I'm really excited about Ruin for some reason, just because I love the idea of being on the Muni, playing it, sending it to the cloud, being on my PS3 at home, playing it, and having this like kind of ubiquitous experience.
See, that's the thing with Vita. When I first moved to San Francisco, I lived in Berkeley, and my commute was really long. And I thought, oh, okay, yeah, man, so Vita would be perfect for the commute. And then I moved to Oakland, so I'm effectively on the train for like 15 minutes. I'm like, oh well,
Crap.
There's the time I would play. I'm actually kind of disappointed my commute is short because
Yeah, right.
I'm excited for Vita, and I don't see myself necessarily like sitting at home playing it,
Yeah.
even if I would have to because of the battery.
Yes. Well, I'm going to buy the extended battery pack that I'll wear on my back in a giant backpack and have it running.
Right on.
You
Yeah.
can crank me up to let it go.
I don't know. I was a little down on Vita last week just because of the battery stuff, and like I don't know
Oh
what
my
we were really
God.
expecting. But then
I want to have a quick talk about that.
yeah, well,
Is
you want
that
to hear
on,
some-
we have
Yeah.
a massive Roper report.
Yeah, this
chock
is
full of
the
news.
biggest Roper report I've ever done. I think.
How many stories?
And
20?
all of them are. I don't think you can find a story in here that you're like, that's really shouldn't be on the report.
Well, oh,
But
so
please,
I
move
need
on.
to wait?
No, move on.
Oh, okay.
Conversational podcast.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude,
You've been gone.
when-
You're rusty. You don't know how it works.
When
here
you were
anymore.
like, "This is appalling," I am disgusted by 3 to 5 hours of battery life. Now, I'm not gonna lie. I can't think of a single time that I've played my PSP for longer than 5 hours in one sitting.
Oh, I can think of a million times I did that.
Except if you are on a plane, in which case that's a rare case where this battery pack comes into
But we
play.
didn't know about the battery pack
Yeah.
when we first did the
I know,
3 to 5.
but all I'm saying is, even if the battery pack doesn't exist, like most of the time that I play my portable games, it's in bed before I go to bed, and I'm not going to be playing it for 5 hours at a time.
Yeah.
You just don't. No one's commute is 3 hours, and if it is, then that's terrible.
Does the battery pack work like an emergency cell phone charger, like where you just buy something and you plug it in and you can use it as a battery, but it also charges the internal battery at the same time?
I don't.
we are
know.
unaware of the exact things.
Yeah, he just talked about
Shuhei
it.
said that you could use it on a plane ride and get off and have a full battery.
Yeah.
So that you would be using that instead of your battery in your system.
Okay.
I think it's just a replacement battery, and he made it sound like you could go like cross country
Yeah.
in the States and not have a problem.
So then is the Vita going to end up like the original Game Boy, where you have 15 billion attachments? You got a light on it, you got a magnifying
There's a
glass.
Giant
glass.
magnifying glass.
I don't know. I understand that you want the most out of your product, so that's fine. I understand that mentality, but for me personally, I'm never gonna play that thing.
I don't think it's even a matter of that though. I mean, I just don't like the idea of, for instance, I don't use my iPad very often. In fact, like I was telling Greg, I don't even really know why I bought it, but every once in a while I like use it, and I've had the thing since Gamescom. I had it, and I opened it when I got home. I've charged the thing twice since I've gotten it, and it's still, I like close the cover, it's at like 90%. I open it like 2 days later, it's at like 88%. Little things like that. I mess around with it for an hour, I put it back down.
But
like the Vita, I don't want to have to charge the thing every day or every 2 days. It's
You
just
probably won't
cumbersome and
have to,
annoying.
because
And-
you're probably gonna play it for like 30 minutes, and then you put it in sleep, and then you're good.
But the thing is, if you were playing 3D games on your iPad, how long would the battery last if you were playing Infinity Blade on your iPad?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you do is play chess on it.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, yeah. Keep in mind, that's like a totally unfair comparison.
I suppose.
Yeah,
But
So
it's a
there you go.
comparison nonetheless.
Inaccurate and unfair.
I think, our PlayStation conversation video about it was very, knee-jerk reaction to it. Like, I think it was just the fact that at that time, all I wanted, as I've said a million times in that video and in podcast, is I wanted to be able to fly across country with it. And then Shuhei, I think, listened to enough of my bitching that he literally set it up to you in that interview, using the exact terminology I used, San Francisco to New York flight. So,
Yeah.
So I was fine with it after that.
There you go.
To me, it's just I wanted the 3 to 5 hour thing concerns me because 3 is I wanted at least the floor to be 5 hours. I don't know what exactly I expected. I understand even battery technology hasn't come as far as maybe we would have liked, and obviously really good batteries are expensive, and this goes not only in electronics but in cars and every the Volt, for instance, how expensive that. I mean, like, good batteries are expensive, so I understand that, but
well, keep in mind they have to have the range on there for in the situation where like that 3 hours might be referring to like you are playing a game connected to the internet, like playing it that entire 3 hours.
Actually, I think it was 3 to 5 hours with everything. Like the one caveat was everything turned off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Never mind.
So if you have everything on, it's gonna last less than that.
Yeah, if you're playing, then say you're playing on, like, say you're playing Uncharted online with your over your 3G connection, that's gonna be
Why it probably can't use your 3G, we think.
to play online.
Yeah, this is all dodgy. Nobody, there's no hard answers on most of the stuff. But yeah, 3G is pretty much, I think, we're just being used for that near stuff, like when we're on the street, like Street Pass kind of stuff, and downloading games once in a while.
I hope you're right. I mean, we've talked about this, and I hope that that's the case, that you can't, because I always thought it was huge when they announced Call of Duty, when they revealed NGP, or when they talked about, I guess, the name being Vita, that if you could play that over a wireless network, like anywhere, that would be one of the biggest games in the world. Just imagine, all these Call of Duty fans just playing anywhere they want, but it's probably just unrealistic, unfortunately. I don't know.
Well, not in terms of technology, but in terms of what AT&T wants to give up for bandwidth.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm still super. The battery life, that was a disappointment, especially because we read later. Yeah, it's like this is what this turned off, and this turned off, and you're not using Wi-Fi and all that. It's like, all right, well, whatever. But maybe we'll get like a better battery in the future. The external battery is nice, and I'm still so excited about the system and all the great games. I agree with you. I think Gravity Days looks awesome. Yeah,
it sounds cool. Looks cool.
It's I was just making fun of him because of The Last Guardian or whatever, but I'm super excited about that game. I think it's cool that Metal Gear and Zoe are going to come to the Vita. Final Fantasy X, which is a game I really don't like.
Like those games are being remastered for PS3, so I was like, I want to play them there.
That means Metal Gear Solid 3 is going to be released 3 times in 1 year.
Well, we'll see about that 3DS game. It keeps getting pushed around.
Yeah, we transfer though.
Yeah, well, hopefully. I still don't trust transferring.
Only if you live in Japan.
Yeah, there's that too. There's so much misinformation out right now, and no hard answers.
I was thinking about this with the Vita launch coming, and with everything on PS3 and on the other systems too. I don't know how there could be so many good games. I just feel like we are in a golden age.
Well, they're learning a lesson. I think they're learning a really important lesson.
This year is ridiculous. Like, there's one I'm handling the review schedule for one up, and there's certain days that you just look at the reviews calendar and you're like, how are we going to cover all of that?
Yeah, it's a ridiculous time of year.
It's a good thing though.
Oh yeah,
in the words of Martha Stewart.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Ryan.
So excited. Yeah.
When people want to be part of the show, they write into beyond@ign.com.
Correct.
Nehemiah did that. He says, "What's up, guys? It's good to have you back, Ryan, and this question is just for you. Can you give us the best and worst memory of TGS? Maybe game-related, then it can be personal-related. I heard it was hot."
Yes, it was hot. It was really hot, actually, but that's okay. That's fine. Does this include things outside of Tokyo Game Show, or is it specifically at Tokyo Game Show?
Yes, it can be whatever. Well, I mean, it's a TGS memory, so it has to be TGS related in some way.
Okay.
Your best and worst TGS memories. They don't have to be, I don't know what you're saying. I mean...
Right.
It can be about traveling or coming back or whatever, but...
No, that's what I mean.
Okay.
Because the best memories are usually when I'm out clubbing in Japan, because that's the most fun I have, like, ever. Though playing the Vita is obviously
the games are good too.
Game-related Vita.
Then what club? What's your favorite club in Tokyo?
Well, I've only been to a few. I mean, so you can't use my experience to judge if this is a good club or not. But the one that we've gone back to numerous times is called Harlem. It's in Shibuya. And it is, you're paying like more than $30 to get in per person, but
then the drinks are free, right?
You get one free drink.
I want to go to this place.
Yeah,
Colin, it's not our scene. Let's not go.
No, I just want to go to a bar.
Well, yeah, we can do that too. And there's an amazing dive bar that we go to. So the video team has this tradition of going to this one little tiny underground dive bar that's in Shibuya, which is an amazing district, by the way. That's my favorite district in Tokyo. But they go there every year because they know the owner now, and so they always bring a bottle of Fernet, which is this San Francisco liquor that everybody loves and everyone hates here. So they bring him a bottle and they give it to him every year.
Can he not get it there?
Yeah, you can't get it in Japan. Also, he doesn't even like it. But
nobody really likes Fernet. You like it because it makes you unique.
Yes. What? Because that makes me unique? Tons of people like it here. I'm
Oh,
not unique at all.
Just giving you trouble.
Anyway, that was a long tangent.
Okay.
Favorite memory going clubbing. It is amazing. Japanese clubs are totally awesome. And then
Your worst memory. What was the worst part of TGS?
the absolute worst. The worst part I can't really discuss too much publicly because I want to be respectful to.
Okay. There's a joystick article about it. You're welcome to go read.
Yeah, I mean, there's also an article on Wired. But let's just
maybe
say
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, there was a
Go to both those sites. Who knows?
there was an event that was held right on the first night of TGS, and it was probably my least favorite event I've ever been to in the 4 years I've been at IGN.
Was it the one on the boat?
Yes.
There you go. Search boat events.
Just search that boat event.
We have lots of news to talk about it, but a bit of housekeeping before we go any further. Ryan, I need you to turn the photo behind you around. I can't focus on you with this woman from Knocking Boots over there. And next, RW, Ryan number 2.
Yeah.
I know nothing about you.
right.
What do you do at 1UP? How long have you been at 1UP? What are you playing? What's going on with you?
I started at 1UP in May, though I had been freelancing for 1UP. I was their Japan correspondent back in 2010.
Okay.
Oh, so you know all about Harlem then.
I've never been to Harlem.
Ooh, gotta change that.
He hasn't lived.
Next time we go there, you and me, man.
And started in May. Moved from England to get the job.
Wow, okay.
So I've been there 4 months now.
Look at that.
Handling reviews, pretty much at the moment. Reviews and games
Okay.
stuff.
Good stuff. Why were you? Are you from England?
No. I was living in Japan. I met my wife there. We were engaged, and she wanted to do grad school. And she had British citizenship, even though
Gotcha.
she was American. So
Okay.
she always wanted to live in England. And I was freelancing for a bunch of outlets in this town called Bournemouth. And she wanted to go to school in this town called Bournemouth because they had a really good archaeology program. And so I was like, all right, sure. That seemed like a good place.
It's a really interesting little collection of stuff, man.
I like that.
Yeah, that was
You've
good.
seen things. You've lived.
I know.
You haven't gone to Harlem, though, so we'll hold
I've
that
not
against
gone to Harlem.
you. Ryan, how long is the show right now?
We're at 25 minutes right now.
All right, well, let's begin it with what is and forever will be the Roper Report. Time for some news and topic of the week. This is topic of the week, too, because there's so much to talk about, Colin. How
I know.
could this much stuff have happened?
There are 20 items on the list this week.
20 items.
Now, yeah, I don't think you'll find that any of these are uninteresting.
Well, I'll be the judge of
Yeah,
that.
you'll be the judge.
Yeah.
And so usually I put them in order of most important to least important. But there's just too many. I couldn't even really process the
and
information.
here's the game we're gonna play today.
Okay.
All right, Greg, for every news item, I want you to say either I guarantee it or I doubt it for the news as to if you would think this is worthy or not of the list.
Okay.
The context doesn't even really work, but I like that
Okay,
idea.
look, I just
No,
it's
I
a
like it.
game.
I like
we're
it.
using the things. It's
Okay, we're
fine.
using the Beyond memes.
Yes.
Okay,
Alright.
number one.
Does he do it at the beginning or when he's done with?
No,
How
would you
you're
know?
just going to assume?
I'm just saying.
All right. Sony will have timed exclusivity on all Battlefield 3 DLC, although it would be quite brief. Developer DICE confirmed that all DLC for Battlefield 3 will come to the PlayStation 3 a week before it appears elsewhere.
I guarantee it.
There you go.
That's
You
it.
like
Yeah,
that?
okay. Number two, an Uncharted 3 Drake's...
Oh, we're not gonna talk about it. You don't want to talk about it. You know?
Well,
is
I
that a
mean,
big deal? Do you care?
No, I don't care.
This is always the trade-off, right? Like usually it's Microsoft grabbing exclusives and having them for 6 months, a year, whatever. All the Summer of Arcade stuff,
Right.
Call of Duty maps, etc., so on and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm not like super into military shooters.
I know,
per
but
se,
is
so I'm
it
not
a
excited
good
about
move?
Battlefield.
Is it a good move? Is
No.
it going to actually change pre-orders?
If this
for anybody?
costs
No.
Sony money, then
No.
no, it's not a good move.
Okay.
Number two, an Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception PS3 bundle has been revealed. It will all be available this November. It will contain a 320 gigabyte PS3, a copy of Uncharted 3 Drake's Deception, and a month of PlayStation Plus.
I would say I doubt it, but this story's doing well, so I guarantee it.
It will cost $300. Number three, news I'm excited about. NHL 12 is a huge success. It has sold 451,000 copies since its release. The series' highest selling first week in the franchise's 20-plus year history. 6.9 million online matches were played in the first week, a 17% increase from NHL 11.
I doubt it.
Really? That's not fascinating to you? What 451,000 copies
We talked about
in a
this.
week
We talked about this
of
at
a
our
game
desk.
that's only available in North America.
You're like, this is good for the NHL. Yes, it is good for the NHL. It's bad for the XFL.
the XFL hasn't existed in 11 years.
But people are ready for it to come back. People are ready, and if the hockey sales would have dipped, people would have been like, well, maybe let's go back to the XFL.
Extreme Football League?
Yeah, They never really talked about what the X stood for. It wasn't extreme, but that's what it was implied to be.
Really?
Smash
I thought it
Mouth
was. I thought
football.
it was.
I don't think they ever spelled it out. I don't think spelled it out. Spelled it out. Spelled it out. I don't think they ever spelled it out.
Just say it again.
Spelled it out.
Number 4. Do you have an early copy of Dark Souls? Why,
we
yes,
do,
I do.
yeah.
According to Japanese gaming blog, playing the game online early results in maximum level, quote, black phantoms coming into your world randomly and completely messing up your day. These phantoms are level 145 with 1,900 hit points and maxed out stats each at 99. These enemies are impossible to defeat. No word on if the same thing is happening on the American and European servers. I've only played Dark Souls for a couple hours, and I haven't experienced anything like that.
Yeah.
Have you been playing it online though?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I love it. I think that's a great idea.
Because they broke Street Date in
Well,
Japan.
I define online. I'm not playing with other people, but I'm connected.
You're connected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, can you decline people coming in? Because that's what it is, right? That people are coming into these kids who are playing in Japan.
Well, it's that From Software set it up so that if you bought the game prior to its Street Date, enemies would be generated in the game.
Gotcha. Okay. That's an awesome idea.
Yeah,
I love that.
it's
Because
really cool.
there's always talk about this, like what can they do, and this is a great way to do it.
Yeah, just like totally screw you.
So was that worth it?
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
I thought this was an interesting story, or a strange story. Has Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City been delayed? Originally expected to be released in the fourth quarter of this year, it seems that Operation Raccoon City might be moved to 2012. However, Capcom spoke to IGN and told us, quote, we have never announced a delay in the game. Since the announcement, Capcom has said that it is coming out this winter. It is still planned to do so.
So it's them dancing around.
Yeah,
That it's
exactly.
not going to come out this year, but it'll be this winter season.
Yeah.
So before spring.
Yeah,
sprung.
it seemed kind of strange to me.
I guarantee it.
Yeah, okay, good. Where are we? Number 6. Dead Space 3 has always been assumed to be in development over at Visceral, but now it seems we have confirmation. An IGN reader from Israel sent us a video that.
Do you have his name?
No, I'm sorry.
Oh,
I don't.
sorry, me too. I didn't bring it either.
That played on Israeli TV, which shows a tour of EA's Redwood Shores studio. Seen in certain shots are logos of Dead Space 3, along with what appears to be concept art. And you can take a look at the video for yourself on the site.
Yeah, like we had known Dead Space 3 was coming, but we didn't. Nobody said who's developing it, where it is. You assume Visceral, blah blah. But yeah, so down where Visceral actually is in Redwood Shores, there it was. Huge shout out to the fan whose name we don't have down. I want to say Shocking for You is his Twitter name.
I was. We talked about this in a meeting, and I said I was kind of disappointed that they're working on Dead Space 3.
Yeah, which is weird.
I want
that's
to see.
weird.
I want to see something. Well, I wasn't blown away by Dead Space 2.
I know you
I
weren't,
want
'cause
to
you're
see.
weird.
I want to see something else from them.
R-Dubs, back me up. Dead Space 2, good?
I really like Dead Space 2.
Damn right.
Better than the original.
It's better and it's good in a different way. It's not the same experience.
It's iterating on the original, and that's why Colin, I think, doesn't like it. Because it is so... the people who don't like Dead Space 2 always seem to have the problem that it's so much like the original.
See, no,
Correct? Not correct?
No, I to me it doesn't feel as lonely and despondent and hopeless as the first one did.
Yeah, that's sort of my thing. Like, I really like that feeling of the first Dead Space where you felt like absolutely alone, whereas Dead Space 2 felt more like a normal action game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, claustrophobic is always the word I use when I talk about Dead Space, because you're revisiting the same parts of the ship later, and like you're kind of returning. Some people didn't like that, but to me it was like, man, the ship really is not not that big, and this guy's like alone, and you're in like places that you were before earlier that were safe, and now they're not. And so I really like Dead Space a lot, but I wasn't even compelled to beat Dead Space 2. I mean, I just was like, I don't know.
I'm freaked out just thinking about it. God,
You're just a
game
quitter,
is
maybe? You
scary.
have no medal? Is that it?
METTLE.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have a comment on that? I guarantee it.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. We're doing pretty well then. So
Yeah,
far.
no. Yeah.
The number 7. The PS3 version of Assassin's Creed Revelations will contain the original Assassin's Creed game on the same Blu-ray. This is something exclusive to the PS3 due to the Blu-ray's enhanced storage capabilities.
And it's going to have trophies.
No.
Damn it!
However, we reached out to Ubisoft about the possibility of a trophy patch for Assassin's Creed and got a story that's becoming familiar now. Assassin's Creed won't be patched for trophies.
I guarantee it. And that's sad. But it's not really, because I didn't like the original Assassin's Creed. So I really wouldn't want to go back and play it again for trophies.
I'm not a fan of the series. So.
I can't believe that.
Number 8.
R-Dub, do you like Assassin's Creed?
I do like Assassin's Creed. I even like the first one.
You're crazy. The flags? That's what
No,
you like? Sitting on a bench for 30 minutes?
Screw the
Bench?
flags. The flags were terrible. I liked the sort of planning my assassination route. I liked how there were very firm areas where this is the assassination and this is where you find multiple routes to it. And the game is better. 2 and 3 are better, but they kind of lacked sort of the
Structure.
multiple
Yeah, just go do what you want to do.
routes sort of thing.
Yeah. Clements, anything to say about the Assassin's Creed business? No, okay.
Continue. We got
Okay.
a lot of news to cover, Greg.
Yeah.
I know, but we need to talk about
Yeah, let's
something.
talk. Let's talk. At your leisure.
Always feel free to interrupt, R-Dub. You want to go somewhere, you go there.
All right, we'll
All
do.
right.
Battlefield number 8. Battlefield 3's online beta has a date. The beta will be released simultaneously on PS3, 360, and PC on September 29th. However, you can get access on September 27th if you pre-order the game on EA's Origin service, or for anyone who purchased the Medal of Honor Limited Edition. I don't know why you would have done that when it came out last year. The beta will run through October 10th. There will be no level cap or limit on unlockables.
I doubt it.
Really?
What do we? It was just
Battlefield 3
all you did right there was prove you're a sellout for EA Origins. Oh, you can get it if you go to EA. Well, how much money are you gonna get when they put in the code Beyond?
They put in the Beyond code.
Put on the code Beyond, all lowercase. Nothing on that? Anyone?
No, again, I don't care.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah.
also falling in October when I'll just be playing the Subway Uncharted multiplayer.
You know what we're gonna
Dumbass
be? You know
Fallout.
we're gonna be playing a lot in October.
Payday the
Payday
Heist.
the Heist.
Oh my god! You want to talk about that? How depressing that? I think that's one of the reasons I'm depressed today.
Why?
Is that we have Payday the Heist. We got it last night, but I went out and got drunk, and then you had a few beers as well.
Yes.
Got it. So we get in this morning, and I say, all right, Colin, let's play a game before we get to work. And Colin goes, well, why don't we get the Beyond stuff ready, and then we can play it until Beyond starts. And I was like, that's a bad idea. As soon as you look at your email, it works, and then, it was over.
We'll get it in today.
I'm
later on
going to get
today.
it in today, yeah. Don't worry about that.
Yeah,
buddy.
buddy.
Why are we excited about the heist now?
Because it looks fucking awesome.
Left 4 Dead meets the Heat? Okay, or Heat? Left 4
The
Dead
Heat.
meets Heat? Okay, I'm sorry, all
The
right.
Miami Heat.
I hate you so much. God. R-dubs, anything to talk about? First off, does anybody call you R-dubs? Do you like this? Is this working for you?
I can go with it.
Okay.
All right, well.
I don't want to get confusing with the Ryans.
That would be
I
very
thought you
confusing.
always called me
There-
Clement.
there
I
are-
usually do, but sometimes I break.
There are already, 3 Ryans in the office? 4
Yeah.
Ryans in the
it's
office?
crowded.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Getting crowded. Anyway, the heist, are you interested in this?
I
one?
haven't been paying attention to it at all.
I like the idea of it. Everybody who's played it likes things. I've seen it at trade shows, but I never cover it, so I'm always like running around. But I see it and I always think it looks cool.
It's basically an online. You can play it by yourself, but an online PSN exclusive, like Left 4 Dead meets Heat,
Yeah.
kind of thing where you're robbing,
Yeah.
like robbing people.
4-player first-person shooter co-op.
I like the idea of a game, loosely based on Heat, because every attempt to do that so far has really failed. Like
Yeah,
Kenny Lynch was kind of.
Like I don't know much about it, and like there's hostage trading and stuff.
Yeah,
We're looking
yeah.
through the trophies today. It's
Yeah,
like,
can we talk about the trophies? Probably not.
Probably not a good idea.
Okay, number 9.
Okay. Oh, the first that was I guarantee.
This is a long haul for this news.
But there's a lot of good
But
stuff.
has any of this
yeah.
news been like, you don't want to hear about this?
No.
Okay.
I'm fine.
THQ has revealed that Crytek, the studio behind Crysis and Far Cry, is developing Homefront 2. There's little information available otherwise, other than we're going to have to wait a while for Homefront 2. It won't be released till 2014.
Jeez.
I am torn about this one because I really like Crytek, but I thought Homefront was really dumb.
There are some problems with this one, I think.
What was done by it? What did you like about it?
But
And
yeah.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. I think everybody will admit it clunky in parts. This is happening, yada yada. I loved the story and the setting. That was my thing. I liked the idea of fighting through Tiger Direct in a Hooters and stuff like that.
No, I love the idea of the United States being invaded, sort of Red Dawn sort of thing. That is awesome. I had a real hard time like taking North Korea seriously, and that whole realism thing.
okay,
I was
okay.
like, seriously, really?
Well, all right, so I reviewed Homefront. I gave it a 7. I gave the presentation a 9 because I loved it. I'm a huge John Milius fan. And I love Red Dawn. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. I'm really into like future history and alternate history, American history, or American stuff. I love it's like my favorite.
We
Like,
still have to watch Hot Tub Time Machine. I totally forgot, by the way, because there's like a
you
Red
not seen
Dawn
it?
reference in
No.
it.
No, well, Hot to Time is just a funny movie, but yeah.
but
Well, I love that movie.
I don't
Yeah.
don't sell them on the whole Red Dawn thing though.
Oh, I know. I'm just
Okay.
saying
If that's the only-
that's what reminded me of it, because there was a Red Dawn
Gotcha.
reference.
Yeah. No,
I
it's
love
good.
Red
Good
Dawn.
one.
I love it.
Yeah.
But so I interviewed the guys at Chaos before the game came out, and I did a piece called "Is Homefront Possible?" And it was basically an examination of the story and the way that the very and I talked to a guy that they have that used to work at the CIA that helped them write the story and all these dudes, and the way they describe it in a very specific way, like the specific chain of events that leads to this happening is actually not as unrealistic as you'd think, but it would have to go in this very specific way. It's basically all surrounds monetary collapse and how like no one can control, like even China can't control North Korea, and like everyone has bigger fish to fry, and so like this just happens, and they basically just kind of do this like the East Asian prosperity sphere from World War II, like the way the Japanese went around from island to
Well,
island.
each step along those lines is plausible in a way, but the idea that all of that would happen exactly that way is just like, oh.
No, I don't disagree, but I liked it nonetheless. It's definitely hokey. I want to see what they do in the second one. I just hope that they stay true, because I really like the presentation of the game like you did, and I hope that they stay true to that.
That would be my concern, right? Is that like when I played Crysis 2 and stuff, I totally like lost interest in it. It was very beautiful, and I had a cool suit and yada yada yada. But I didn't care who that guy was or what was happening. And, like, you know, when I didn't care about the story, I stopped playing. So.
Yeah, that's gonna be so we'll see what happens. We have a long time to wait.
Yeah, and also that's a way to lose a lot of momentum, right? Like, I mean, Homefront sold well. It had a crazy ad campaign. People knew it. People know it. You know what I mean? I would think you'd want to capitalize on it as fast as you can.
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Do you remember how like all of San Francisco was plastered in Homefront? It was like we actually did get invaded. And
this time by THQ.
I wish we did, because that's how I totally want to go out.
Invaded by THQ?
Yeah.
John Miller comes in here and kicks in the door.
Puts
puts
a
on
bullet in my head.
Puts a Saints Row shirt on you and against your will.
You would really want to just die fighting, huh?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Those situations in fiction are so fascinating.
I know.
just want to kind of see how it goes down.
I think they go very differently in real life.
So then, what is your favorite video game where the United States gets invaded?
Jeez.
Red Dawn.
I'm gonna have to say Freedom Fighters.
Yeah, I mean, everyone before Homefront came out, everyone was like, really, there was a lot of Freedom Fighters references. I mean, honestly, like, you don't see it in the game, but like the mythology surrounding just everything that happens before Fallout, the Fallout games, is really fascinating with China, the War of 2077 and stuff like that. I wish that they would kind of go over more of that kind of stuff, because I just, I don't know, it's just something fascinating about the United States just, ending as a war. I don't know why that's fascinating to me, but it is. Sorry, is that dark?
No. It's an interesting thing. I like those.
absolutely.
I majored in American history. I have seen the arc of greatness that this country has gone through, and there will eventually be a decline.
I think we're already in that decline.
I think you're right. Number 10.
Well, now it's dark. Now it just went depressing.
There's no doubt that we're in the decline, but onward. Number 10.
Are we gonna come back out of it? Is it one of the ones where is it gonna make like the McDonald's M and we'll come back out?
I think it's very possible.
I don't think it's guaranteed. I think
you wouldn't guarantee it.
I mean, all right. Not to get dark or political, but the way that the United States is going to end, if it ends, in the next 10 or 20 years, is going to be a monetary collapse, just like they talk about in Homefront. I mean, and if something like that happens, it's game over. So just be prepared.
What do I do to prepare, Colin? I don't know.
I don't know. Build a fallout shelter or something. Number 10. Oh, is that an I guarantee it or?
I guarantee it.
Okay. Number 10. If you've turned on your PlayStation 3 recently, you may have noticed new firmware available for it. This is update 3.72. According to Sony, it enhances system stability and improves PlayStation Network service.
I doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's only 2 out of 10 so far that you said.
The NHL one I was joking about.
Oh, okay, so 1 out of 10. This one was disappointing for me. I know Clements might have been disappointed, although he was engaged in Japanese things at the time. Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, I was.
Final Fantasy VI and Chrono Trigger, the classic NES RPGs, were scheduled to come to the PlayStation Network in North America as PS1 classics this past week. However, Sony made an error on the PlayStation blog, one that was only revealed the day before the games were set to be released. Neither game made it on a PSN, and there's no word on when they're going to come down the pipe. Both games have ESRB ratings, so they're ready to be released. Chrono Trigger has been released anywhere in the world as a PS1 classic. Final Fantasy VI is already available in Japan and Europe.
I guarantee it.
And these are the PlayStation 1 versions specifically, right?
So this is, because you played them, this is disappointing if it's Chrono Trigger, because Chrono Trigger's PS1 version was terrible. And it had like the loads, like it loaded even when you went to the menu.
Yeah, so Final Fantasy VI's was like that too.
Yeah, not as bad. Chrono Trigger came with 4 and 6 came with 5, right? And 6 and 5 came together later, and it was a little more refined. The original package, I think, was Anthology.
There was Anthology and Chronicles.
Right.
There's just a lot of different places you can play those games much better.
Yeah, I agree.
Honestly, you guys listening, you probably have a DS. Just play 6 and Chrono Trigger are both available on the DS. Just play them there.
Well, 6 is available on Game Boy Advance.
6 you can just play on Game Boy
And you can
Advance.
play, if you want to play on a console, they're on WiiWare, so you can just download them there and you can play with the classic controller. It's totally fun.
There you go.
Any thoughts?
I really just don't like those versions.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I remember being, I was in 10th grade maybe when those came out. I was like really disappointed. I spent all my money on those collections, and Chrono Trigger was like really unplayable. I mean, it was really disappointing, and that was obviously before patches and stuff like that could fix those.
Did you have enough money to still take a girl to the homecoming dance?
I didn't go to the homecoming dance ever.
What the hell's your
Whoa,
problem?
no way.
No.
Did you ever go to Sadie Hawkins?
Sadie Hawkins, what is this?
Yeah. Is
Turnabout.
that like a... Really? Is that's not a...
Some schools would call it twerp.
We called it turnabout.
Turnabout.
Yeah.
Okay. It's
Where the girl asked the guys.
Oh, yeah, no, I never went to those. I never went to homecoming or prom or junior prom either.
You've never been to a school dance ever?
No.
All right,
Oh my God, guys, we
next
have
high
to-
school dance. I'm going with Colin.
Yeah, some reader has to take Colin to the dance.
I would love this.
Please.
If there are girl
there are any
listeners
girl
out there who
listeners,
are going to turnabout, please
Colin
invite Colin.
will go with you.
Oh my
I will
God.
force him to go.
Oh
We'll bring
my
the whole
God.
And he
we'll bring a
looks-
video crew.
and-
Yeah, try to get your
I'm
other
not-
girlfriends to invite me in
Yeah,
comments.
I'm not gonna lie. Colin looks damn good in a suit, so you would be getting a good date out of that.
Thank you.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh,
buddy.
yeah.
Also, Colin's got an older sister. Probably could buy you booze.
Or Colin could
Oh,
just
yeah,
bring
that's
the
my
booze.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
That's right.
I don't think we could do that.
Yeah, we could.
I doubt it.
I doubt
Number
it.
12.
No underage drinking is condoned by Podcast Beyond or its subsidiaries. Or
We're a subsidiary.
we are
yeah.
a subsidiary.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Whatever.
got you. Number 12. If you're interested in trying out the Call of Duty Elite beta on PlayStation 3, it's now underway. Invitations are rolling out to those who sign up at callofduty.com/elite. Call of Duty Elite is a special social and statistical service that hopes to bind Call of Duty gamers together across platforms and titles.
I guarantee it, but I know none of us care.
Yeah.
RW care about it,
Yawn.
It's a good idea. Like I respect what they're doing there. I like the idea of all your stats carrying over from every game. That's cool.
I did. Yeah, I went to Call of Duty XP and saw the demo. I was like, "Wow, that's
You fall
interesting."
asleep in the middle of
If I did not fall asleep. But
You should have.
Probably. It's like if
When
I
are you showing Spider-Man Edge of Time?
No, I just can't stop thinking about this Colin going to a dance. I'm so excited.
Can you imagine how awesome it would be to get the little wallet shot of him
Oh
and a
my
girl
God.
like behind? He's just in jeans in his northeastern jersey. Some girl in his
Please,
corsage.
For
on.
the love of God, email beyond@ign.com with the headline "School Dance."
Jesus Christ.
Let's do it. It'll be fun.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah, great.
Homecoming's coming up now. Somebody's still having homecoming.
Yeah,
It's the
I'm sure
fall. It's the
there's still-
fall.
there's
Kids are
yeah,
starting school.
September's homecoming.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
Number 13. And this will interest you,
Unlucky
even though you already
13.
know it. DC Universe Online has officially gone free to play. However, there are 3 tiers that gamers can take advantage of. Free players can play the entire game as it stands today. Premium players, which are those that spend $5 or more on optional DLC, will have advanced features unlocked. And then legendary players who pay $15 a month will have access to basically everything.
Yeah, stuff that you were doing before. This carries over, and I guarantee you, this carries over to if you had already had a subscription lifetime, whether it be year or whatever, blah blah blah. Kevin Brock writes in though, and he says he wrote into beyond@ign.com, just like everyone should. Can I get the platinum trophy using only the free part of DC Universe Online? No, you cannot, Kevin. I've been meaning to break that out as a news story, but it has been very crazy lately. If you are doing the free to play thing, similar to Free Realms, you get no trophies. You have to actually give money to actually start earning trophies.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Disappointing, but not breaking. Is this going to bring you in? Are you going to start playing DC Universe Online?
No,
You going to do some
definitely-
DC?
definitely not.
Ryan, you going to anybody? R-Dubs?
I have an unopened
I don't
copy
have time
of
for MMOs.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. And I have an unopened copy of on my shelf. I'm never gonna play that game.
Just give it away to somebody.
Give it away now.
Take it to when you go to your homecoming day. Bring it to them.
Just give it away. Just throw it.
Pumpkin harvest.
No. Number 14. Final Fantasy 13-2 will indeed have DLC. Square
Yeah,
has
buddy.
confirmed that DLC for the game will be available eventually, including new costumes, monsters, and weapons.
Why do you care? Let's just make you happy.
I'm
Would you be
excited.
playing Final Fantasy 13 DLC right now?
13.2 DLC maybe.
What I'm saying. Well, how different is it from the
I
first?
don't know.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
we've derailed this. I'm sorry.
I
guarantee.
don't care. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not excited about that.
I'm just
at all.
saying I've learned
No,
through,
nothing. R-Dubs. You're not.
I was not a fan of 13. I had to play it 4 times for work. I wrote the strategy guide for IGN, and I
well,
was
then
just
that would kill it for anyone.
Oh.
But with that said, there have been a lot of announcements made that 13.2 has some stuff in it that's going to make it much better. than
That'll make it good.
if it's entertaining within 20 hours of starting it, that would be nice.
It will. I have a feeling.
God, that game. I mean, we've talked about that game endlessly. I
Yeah.
don't even want to talk about it anymore. I guarantee it.
Yeah, I guarantee it.
Number 15. Speaking to Game Informer, Sony Worldwide Studios president and friend of Podcast Beyond, Shuhei Yoshida,
Yo, SP on Twitter.
has revealed that system updates on Vita won't be nearly as intrusive as they are on PS3 and PSP. He says, quote, oh, yeah, let's go more on plus, please. Yes.
I'm glad he admits it.
He says, quote, it's very annoying when you only have 1 hour in your busy life to play a game, and when you spend 30 minutes out of that 1 hour to update the hardware. So it's not necessarily the frequency of how we update, it's the intrusiveness of the current process we have on PS3 and PSP. We're aware of the issues, and we'd like to address those issues on PS Vita. I'm
Nice.
very
That sounds
happy
good.
about that. Yeah.
How do you think he does it? How do you think they do it? How do they
I
make
don't
it
know.
less intrusive?
I don't know.
Background
Yeah,
installing, so
background
you can
and-
actually go play your game and do stuff.
I guess so. Yeah, I don't know.
That'd be nice.
It'd be nice if they did that on PS3 too, if they changed things around.
Yeah.
I haven't updated my firmware because I'm like, I can't be bothered.
I don't want to do this right now.
I can watch Netflix.
I always
fine.
send out emails we both do when an update goes live, just so people know, like, you know, the random, because we don't know, you know, we play PS3 more than anyone in the office, so people turn it on only occasionally, and then they have, like, you know,
And
they bitch and
on
whine.
Twitter. Oh my
I gotta
God.
update my firmware. So we send out an email right when it happens, so they can do it and get out of the way, and then they can go play.
Or so they can ignore it, and then when they bitch on Twitter, we can be like, we warned you. We tried. We're trying to help you here.
Well, you never
Ryan,
know.
get us.
I don't know about IGN, but at 1UP, we're constantly swapping consoles, and you never know the last time a console was turned on. So it could be you have, like, you know, a console that has 3 firmware updates ago when you grab it. It's like, oh,
It's
gotta
far
sit through
more
this.
annoying on test units when you have to.
Oh, right, because you gotta track
they-
down the ugly lady flash drive. You have to work.
So I guarantee it.
Oh, yeah, I guarantee it.
Number 16, a canceled Avengers game tied into the upcoming movie was revealed this weekend online, presumably by someone working on the title. The game was being developed at one of THQ's Australian studios, which were all recently closed down. The 3-minute video of the game shows an impressive-looking first-person action game that seemed to be far along in development. Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all we know.
It didn't do anything for me.
I thought it looked cool. It's different. It looks
Yeah,
different.
it's definitely different, but, like, I mean, this is also because I'm biased against first-person shooters usually. Like, that's not how I want to be Iron Man or the Hulk. You know what I mean? I want to see them do stuff. I want to see a comic come to life.
I got
That's
you.
how I take.
Would you generally say that you prefer third person
Yes,
over first
100%.
person?
Yeah.
100% of the time.
Yeah. We came to some agreement a while back that my favorite games are third-person action adventure. Third-person action somehow. Being able to see the character just makes me like it. Because when I'm playing a first-person shooter, I don't feel like I'm that character. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't change anything more for me. 'Cause especially when you enter into a morality system, right? Like, when I'm playing massive... Well, I guess that it's obviously third-person. But when I'm making choices, like in Fallout even... what I usually do is I start off and make my character either Kal-El or Zod, and then I play through and make good or bad choices. So I'm not even. I want to see that character. I don't want to be.
You can see that character in
I
Fallout.
know, but I'm
And
just
that
bear
awful
with me.
animation.
Yeah, I know, right? As you slowly jump around,
You're
right?
like... All right.
Colin
We have
humped his arms.
number 17. We already know about. That's for Nino Kuni. Coming to North America in
guarantee it.
2012. Comes out Japan in November. Number 18. This is something I'm very excited about.
Okay.
Dead Nation is getting DLC.
Yes.
The DLC is called Road of Devastation, and will unlock new weapons, new enemies, new rules, etc. It comes out September 27th, which is this Tuesday.
Holy crap, really? Is that quick
It will
already?
cost $4, and I am very excited.
You know, can we play it together?
Sure.
All right, good.
I'm still waiting for you so we can play.
I know. Beyond listeners. See, I don't even want to put out this call because it's never going to happen. When am I going to... I guess, okay, here's the thing, Beyond listeners. Colin and I would like to play through the hardest difficulty of Dead Nation together. The problem is Colin went and did the one to unlock it before on his own.
Yeah, there's easy, normal, hard, very hard, and then insane. I did very hard by myself.
Yeah.
But we can't do... And that was like that was a process to do that. Like I was like throwing controllers and like screaming and shit. So totally wasn't worth it. But Greg can't play with me on the next difficulty up until he does.
So I need to team with someone in the Beyond Nation to go play Dead Nation on very hard. We need to set out time though to do this, which is when it gets complicated with review season. And I'm going to Oklahoma this weekend. So
Oklahoma.
where the wind comes sweeping up the plain.
So yeah, that's exciting. Do you play Dead Nation? Or
Never played it.
No, it's good, dude.
Housemark, man. They know what's
what they're
up.
doing. They know
Oh
what they're doing.
man, Stardust on the Vita.
That's one of the games I'm excited for.
Oh, definitely.
Yep.
Yep.
Most definitely. All right, 2 more items and then we're almost done.
All right.
We're almost done.
yeah, we're almost done.
2 more, and then you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
19. We now have confirmation that Vita is region free, meaning that the games purchased anywhere in the world will work on any Vita unit.
Yeah, buddy.
Just like PS3 and PSP. This is good news for those looking to import Vitas before they come out outside of Japan, though Shuhei did tweet
Warned against it,
and
said,
said
"Don't
don't do it.
Yeah.
And I think that's mostly because of button inversions.
Yeah,
stuff
he
like
was
that.
talking about the little differences between what Western games do and what Japanese games do. So, like, you know, X and circle usually being reversed, which always screwed me up in Metal Gear because I didn't understand that at the time.
I love the idea. I have a Japanese PSP, never bought an American one. Works just fine.
Really? So,
Yeah.
okay, good. All right, you're a sign of hope. Here's my question though. So, like, when you put an American game in it, it knows the buttons are switched. Then, right? Like, that's not the confusing
Yeah. The
part.
buttons are switched.
This
in the
is
game.
just like if I was using it to
on a-
select on the screen.
on a system level stuff. So
Gotcha.
what's confusing is when you go back out to the XMB.
Uh-huh.
Say you've been playing an American game and you've been using X, then you go back out to the XMB, and all
You
of a
switch
sudden
over to circle. Gotcha.
You get
See,
used to it.
yeah, that doesn't sound bad.
When we got the PSPs from Anoop, do you remember he sent us PSPs or something?
Vaguely.
There was a
I
Japanese
vaguely remember
PSP
this.
in my possession possession for a long time, and you totally get used to it.
All right.
But I would still support buying the U.S. launch of the system.
The one I buy, and I'm assuming it'll be easy enough to transfer over saves and profiles like we already do on PS3. So we're gonna import them for IGN. Of course.
We'll import a few of them, and then
when the one real comes out, that's when I'll spend my own money to have my own and worry about my profile and stuff there.
And finally, number 20, we kind of already went over this, but Vita's 3 to 5 hour battery life will be extended by the external battery. So that's it.
I can see it.
So one thing I want to do real quick before we move on.
And I have that news too that I wrote up this morning.
Go on.
It was confirmed Xseed, the publishers at Xseed, are bringing a Grand Knights History, which is Vanillaware's probably the last PSP game that Vanillaware will ever develop. And they did, I guess actually this might be their first and last, because I can't think of another PSP game that they've done. They were the makers of Odin Sphere, Grim Grimoire, Muramasa on Wii.
I love Grim Grimoire.
Yeah, they did that import. They did that port of their old Saturn game. I can't remember the name of it. Something Princess.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, Grand Knights History, it's like a 2D RPG. There's 3 warring nations. You get to sort of create your own army of knights, align with a nation, completely customize all those knights. It's this really badass, like, as always, like 2D animated style that looks gorgeous. And apparently it has, like, ways... The way the press release said it, because I actually am not very familiar. I've never played the game before, but... The way the press release said it is that you can play against other people without needing a constant internet connection. So I think you can sort of like connect with someone, like somehow trade like armies, or maybe like you clash and then you like can connect later to get updates and stuff. Something like that I'm kind of guessing at.
Interesting.
Anyway, that's really exciting. That's coming out later this year for the PSP. So for you PSP owners out there that need something to hold yourself over until the Vita, now you have it.
Yeah, buddy.
I doubt it. Swing and a miss, Ryan. How's that feel?
So
we talk about how good your hair looks?
Your microphone's cut off.
Oh.
No, it's good.
We haven't been recording you at all. So one thing I wanted to do, I was talking to Greg about
There's these long conversations from Colin, and then just a little silence, then back to conversation.
Something that I was talking to Greg about this morning that I thought was interesting was a week or two ago we mentioned something that we had written on IGN. And in this case, it was the Sony band history of that I did. I talked to the guys at the Sony band. They were the ones that did Siphon Filter, revealed some new stuff to me, and et cetera and so on about the canceled Resistance game on PSP and stuff like that. And that was interesting. People liked that story or whatever. And we mentioned it on the podcast, and a few people commented in the story that they found out about it on the podcast. Because we have some people that listen to the show that unfortunately don't read the site.
A lot of people, if you think we just do this Podcast Beyond thing. No, this is nothing. We work for a website called IGN.com, and you should come to it and read the stuff and watch the videos we do.
So I thought it would be cool if we just, every week, we just shout out a few things, just general articles that we think that, so I picked out 5 this week.
Sure.
You guys let me know what you think. And, you could just, our site's a little hard to navigate if the stories are old, so you can always go to Google and just search for these exact titles with IGN.
Usually when I need something off IGN that's old, you go to Google, put in IGN, and then the basics of what you're looking for.
So the first thing I wanted to bring up was yesterday's Resistance 3 spoiler cast with Marcus Smith, which was awesome. We learned a bunch of new information about Resistance 3 yesterday. That was really cool. We went on for like 2 hours and just totally blew the game wide open.
If you haven't beaten Resistance 3 yet, you just download it and put it aside.
Yeah,
when you're ready,
don't listen to it until you're ready.
Similar to what we did with the Infamous one that everybody liked.
One of our artists, Brian Miggles, did everything we know about the PS Vita, which was a really cool like kind of graphic of everything the Vita has and everything you can expect.
A breakdown of what the system is and what it can do, basically in one graphic.
Yeah, it's very cool. Very cool. I posted something I've been sitting on for a long time called Developing an Escape Plan for PlayStation Vita. I interviewed the guys at Fun Bits Interactive when I was in Germany. These are the guys that used to work at Titan that did Fat Princess. They're working on a game called Escape Plan for Vita that I talk about a lot. That is easily one of the coolest looking Vita games.
You wear the shirt around the house all the time.
Yes, I do. Yeah. They gave me an Escape Plan shirt, which is awesome. It's a pretty fascinating story about how they came about. This game's been marinating and brewing for a long time, and they kind of collaborated on Fat Princess, and then they came and worked on this game. And I'm really excited about that game. I'm excited for more people to finally be able to play it. Yeah. And another piece that I thought was interesting was 10 facts about the great video game crash of '83. I'm a big history nerd with gaming. We all know the stories about E.T. cartridges and the New Mexico dead. That stuff's old. This is good stuff that you guys might know. Yeah. And then finally, more totally radical video game ads, which is totally radical.
It's totally radical.
Yeah, and that's like just nice clean scans of ads from the 80s and early 90s that are funny that you guys might want to check out. So those are things for you to read this week on IGN.
Colin,
Very nice.
I love reading, but sometimes I like playing games.
Yeah.
If I wanted to know what games came to store this week.
Yes.
To store this week. Yeah,
Yes.
sure, that's how it sounds.
I think that's-
Where would I go to find out?
You go to the official IGN list of upcoming PlayStation software on all 3 platforms by the IGN editors. Ooh, that was like
Somber. It's a
Yeah,
somber
somber.
one.
That was somber.
That's how you introduce the list at a funeral.
No, it ended on a good note.
Sure it did.
4 games on PS3, 1 on PSP this week. Nothing on PS2, if you can believe it.
No, really? Again?
PSP, Persona 2 Innocent Sin came out, and that's also available digitally for $40 on PSN.
We will have that review up by the end of the week.
Excellent. And I actually have a code to give away for that game. It's a $40 game. So I'm still trying to think about what I want to do with it, because it's not like one of these. Usually I go on Twitter. You can follow me on Twitter, no taxation.
Nice plug.
And I give away codes, usually making people answer obscure history questions. But I'm not going to do that with this one. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. PS3 games: F1 2011. If you're into the racing,
Sure.
Supremacy MMA. Greg,
You're not into that.
no,
Whoever you
no
are,
one's into that.
Don't play that.
God of War Origins
Yep.
and White Knight Chronicles
2. The Deuce.
And what's the story with that?
Wait, that came
Being
out?
reviewed over in the UK's.
Okay.
It's coming.
Wow, that's like out now, huh?
Yeah.
It's been out in Europe since June, so a lot of people have already been playing it.
Wow.
Do you have to beat the first one to play this one?
First one comes in the
Yeah,
disc.
so here's the thing. You can play the entire thing
Okay.
on one disc if you want. You can jump right into the second game, and there is story and stuff like that. Clements beat it. I never even wanted to beat it.
I did not.
I didn't hate it,
like
though.
that game. I thought that game
Because
was
the Japanese version required you to beat the first one before you touched any of the content. of
Really,
the second
as far
one.
as I understand, they came and showed me the game a long time ago, and as far as I remember, they said that you can jump right in. You might have to maybe have to have a save file or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but some people on my PlayStation Network friends list are playing it, including the guy I talk about every week. Who he actually messaged me on PSN and he said because he does nothing but play White Knight Chronicles. Like that's it. That's all he's ever playing ever, and he just loves it. He loves that game. He platinumed it. I don't know how that's even possible. And he messaged me saying, "Oh, thanks for the shout out, whatever." And now I'm playing White Knight Chronicles 2. And now every time I see him on there, he's just playing that game. So
Wow.
he loves that shit.
I mean, that's great. That's like I love even if I did not like the game at all and thought it was garbage. I love when people love games. It's so refreshing.
Me too.
It's so good.
Me too.
Ryan,
Yes.
what came in the digital bleeps and bloops?
The Bleeps and Bloops gave birth to a variety of games, including Resident Evil 4 for $20, Cubics HD, Saints Row 2, not 3,
Yeah.
the third.
We'll leave that
This
putting
is
these up,
2.
yeah, for download.
Yeah. Bolt,
Yeah.
yeah. Burnout Crash, yeah.
I played that for a while. I wasn't blown away. Didn't blow my hair back.
The must download for the week, Altered Beast for $5.
I got 100% of the trophies in that.
from your grave.
All right, can I just have a tangent real quick about because I was talking to Greg about Altered Beast because one day this past weekend at home I'm like I'm just gonna get all the trophies in this because it's supposed to be like really easy, and every time I go back and play Altered Beast I'm like there isn't a single solitary redeeming quality about this game. This game is one of the worst games ever made.
It's so
period.
good.
End
It's
of
so
story.
good.
It is so
Now,
bad.
Are they charging $5 for the arcade version or the Genesis version?
It's the Genesis.
$5
version.
for the Genesis version of Altered Beast.
As far as I understand, yes.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So basically, they've released 5 Genesis games. One of them is good, Golden Axe, and one of them is okay, Comic Zone, and then the other 2 are overrated Sonic games, and then we get Altered Beast. Now, there's got to be better. I was an SNES kid, but I know there are better games out there. What I really want is Phantasy Star 2, 3, and 4.
I want the Jurassic Park movie game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, by the way, Phantasy Star was blowing up at TGS this year.
Because of was there Vita?
Like Online 2 or something.
Oh, yeah,
or-
yeah,
I
yeah.
forgot exactly what it was. All right, and also, oh god, watch out, I'm dropping my papers. As Colin said, Shin Megami Tensei Persona 2 Innocent Sin Digital for $40, which he has a code for. And then a PSP Mini.
There we go. Rubenstein working hard. Even in the
Working hard.
TGS, he's
But
doing
just
it.
one.
Well, yeah, he's been at TGS. The
All right.
wife and all by herself trying to make these minis.
We got Edge for $5.
$5 mini. That sounds about right.
$5 Mini. We got Develop Your Telekinetic Strength
Yeah, that's good.
by pushing a cube, capital cube, a cube within a geometric universe. Platforms, enigmas, and reflexes combined to make Edge a
Enigmas and reflexes combined?
Yes, reflexes combined. To make Edge a rich and very comprehensive game.
All right, you guys don't even want to sell any of these.
Toss some words in there.
That's doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make
love
any
it.
sense.
That
No,
makes me
love it.
feel sorry for the copywriter. You can feel the copywriter's pain in that description. Just like he's
It
like,
makes me want to buy it.
"Oh,
I want to know what the
I
hell
hate
this
my
thing's
job."
about. Somebody out there buy Edge and give us
Yeah.
our reader mini review for next week.
You got to push a cube within a geometric universe, baby.
that sounds hot.
So pick of the week, clearly Edge.
Edge.
I want to know what's going on in this
Yeah.
geometric universe.
Yeah.
Colin, real pick of the week. What do you want to do?
Pick of the week. I don't know.
Resident Evil 4 is out.
Yeah,
and it
listen,
doesn't
I-
look great because the HD isn't real.
Whatever.
But
Resident Evil 4 is one of the great games
Yeah.
of the last few generations.
God of War Origins is out.
Yeah, I played a little bit of that. You know, it's God of War.
Yeah, yeah.
If you're into that
You're
sort
making the
of
funny faces.
Yeah.
He's making the funny Colin faces. Too bad, Ryan. Ryan, what do you like for pick of the week?
I'd have to go with God of War.
Okay.
Guys, I'm
Lots of fun.
amazed that we just finished up our pick of the week and we've been recording for over an hour.
Yeah, we have
a
so
long-
much
it
news.
was a long
There was so
show.
much. We got a
Yeah.
couple good questions. We'll get those out of the way, and we'll get back onto real work.
All right.
All right. So, anyways, what do you want?
Well, no, I don't want to cut it short, so you do what you got to
Well,
do.
we're clearly long, so don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Why do I don't understand why we just don't record until we feel comfortable that the show is good enough to just be over. Why do we have to put a time limit on it? Sometimes a 50-minute show might be fine. Sometimes an hour and a half.
I 100% agree with you. I don't think that we're ever saying they need to be. We go long all the
Yeah,
time.
and notice that I didn't say, man, we need to wrap this up. I just said, I can't believe we just
I
finished
saw it
pick
in
of
the
the week.
desperation in your eyes, though, Clint.
We all have other things to do. That's always the thing.
I
right?
do. I have a lot of things
I'm
to do.
more
Wouldn't you
just
like to play some
hungry.
Payday the Heist?
I would. I really need to.
Come on.
I really need to finish Roshard.
I got
as
a
well.
I got a 1 o'clock meeting too,
I also just...
and a lunch to eat.
Oh God, we have the meeting at 2:00 too.
Oh, yeah. We have an all-hands meeting.
I tell you, our dubs.
Our dubs.
These meetings, that's how they get you. All right, so pick of the week, Clements. What do you? It's a split decision. What do you want? What do you like for pick of the week?
What are my... Where were
Resident
my,
Evil?
I missed my retail choices again.
God of War.
All right.
F1
Origins,
2011.
F1.
White Knight Chronicles 2.
It's God of War or Resident Evil. You choose. You can't go wrong with either, obviously.
You could go with Edge.
All right, Edge it
that's
is.
fair. Geometric universe.
The cube universe, full of
$5
enigmas and reflexes.
reflexes.
I tell you, all right.
I love it. I love it.
It's bad. That's bad news. Maybe it's a great game. I don't know.
Yeah, you never know.
It's $5. So I'll
We
never
gotta try
buy
it out.
Reader mail. Mail call.
Maelstrom.
Oh my
Maelstrom.
gosh, that's old school beyond right there. This
Yeah.
is what before the show, our Dove said he hadn't listened to the show since 2008, and I'm
Yeah.
sure the screaming is what drove him away back in the day. We might want to avoid that.
What are
Matthew
you
writes
talking
in.
about? We haven't had enough screaming, man.
I know. The show's grown. It's
Yeah,
grown
it
up
doesn't,
before our
it doesn't
eyes.
mean we can't have a fond memory once in a
There's
while.
been a dearth of random beyonds
Yeah, there you go.
in this podcast compared to previous.
Back in the day, yeah,
Yeah.
when we were just wild kids, we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah.
2008, we didn't care.
Oh
we
my God.
we banged pots and pans on the microphone. We were like, "There's your show, 30 minutes." Like, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong. Matthew writes into
Do
beyond.ign.com.
pots and pans go ding dong, by the way? That's
Isn't
really
that what they have in
interesting.
church belfries? I don't know.
Just a fryer hitting a pot and a pan together.
Matthew writes into beyond.ign.com and he says, Beyond.
Beyond.
I just had a quick question. In shooters, do you prefer regenerative health or having to collect health pickups? I find that I personally take fewer risks in games without regenerating health, but it also adds a bit of suspense.
Yeah, depends on the game.
Yeah.
A game like Resistance 3, I think, worked really well without regenerative health, and a game like BioShock, having to keep an eye on health.
man.
That's a good point.
I love regenerating health because I feel like I'm never punished for a mistake too much.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the same time, man, Resistance 3, that was a tense game, always scavenging for health packs.
I loved it. Yeah.
I do love that in a way.
It
also
works.
gets really frustrating.
It doesn't always work.
I feel I play in a more interesting way with regenerating health. Like, say I'm low without regenerating health, but just health packs, and I'm low on health. I'm gonna be like peeking up behind corners and sniping, and I'm not getting into like these really intense firefights.
Yeah.
So with regenerating health, it allows me to play more like a badass.
That's what I like too. Like there was parts in Resistance 3 where I was like, man, I could go for some regenerative health right now because it would be nice just to be able to run out there and do this and hit that. But I understand what they go for.
use those
BioShock,
weapons.
I wouldn't want it to be switched around. So
I believe there's a cheat in Resistance 3 you can unlock that will turn it on.
oh, good. Well, that's what
want.
I should do from now on.
There's also a cheat to turn off the entire HUD so you have no idea how much health you have.
That's awesome.
Jack writes in. He says Beyond.
Beyond.
I was listening to Deus Ex I was playing Deus Ex last weekend when I noticed something new. Every time a loading screen popped up, there was an ad for the Star Wars Blu-ray set. How do you guys feel about advertisements in our games? Perhaps publishers can use this method to make the game cheaper for us? Figured this could be a good topic for a conversational podcast. Beyond!
Beyond.
How do you feel about ads in games?
It depends on how intrusive they are.
Right there, a loading screen, Deus Ex, Star Wars pops up. Obi-Wan's there, and he's like,
If it's a loading
"Hey,
screen
Deus
and
Ex."
I'm not in the game proper, I don't really care. I guess. I don't
It's
know.
weird.
It's a little weird, but at the same time, also I question whether they would ever pass those savings on to the consumers.
yeah.
I mean, that's just more money for them.
Games are so expensive, though. I can kind of see it trying to offset the cost that way.
Yeah.
R-Dubs, you got an opinion here?
I'm really not. I never got the offense that people take for being advertised to. There
Yeah.
seems to be this view on the internet that, oh my god, they showed me an ad, those bastards.
How dare they?
It's no skin off my back, sure.
My thing was, and is, I guess, is that back in the day, I used to hate the fact when you'd watch Saved by the Bell, they would drink soda, and they would have like this, these just cans that said soda. Like that always took me out of the experience. So like when I'm playing a wrestling game and there's Burger King, Whopper, billboards or whatever going around, or when you're in a driving game and they're advertising a movie, I'm fine with that because it makes it feel like a real world to me.
Yeah. And that's fine, and that's all fine. But if I was playing Resistance 3 and there's like a big billboard in New York in the 1950s and it says "Buy the Blu-ray for Star Wars," I'd be like, "All right, come
That's
on."
enough of that.
Yeah.
My favorite, if I may give you an anecdote.
Yeah, I'm ready.
About being marketed to, is Mark Ryan and I went to a movie a couple years ago, and it was just a really funny situation because Mark Ryan got to the movie late, and I saved us a seat or whatever, and he came in and he's like, so some dude bought a ticket, but he was asking exactly when the movie would start because he told him he didn't want to be marketed to.
That's awesome.
Like, so he just wanted to walk in like right when like the previews ended, and he like walked in because he's like, I'm paying for this ticket, I don't want to be marketed to. I'm like, I don't really understand like what the big deal is. Like, it's marketing's everywhere. I understand it's a little intrusive sometimes, but a billboard or something's like in Deus Ex, if it's literally on the loading screen, then who cares? And they could have even done reasonable advertisements in game because
Like future Coke.
something like Mission to Mars. We were talking about that this morning. I remember like when they're celebrating before they take off in the beginning of the movie. They have like Dr. Pepper and Coke or whatever, and they're in like these like futuristic looking bottles.
Yeah.
Because it takes place in like 2020. There's clever ways you can do that kind of stuff.
Exactly. There's clever ways. I never thought like in Back to the Future when Marty asked for a Pepsi or whatever, and they come up in the crazy bottle. That's cool. But then the worst is I, Robot, where Will Smith puts on a pair of Converse and goes, vintage 2008, or whenever the movie came out, he's like, vintage 2000, and like there's a lingering shot of him dusting them off. It's like, really? Like, first off, why would you cite 2008 as the vintage year for Converse high tops?
Great movie, by the way.
Yeah. But
just great flick.
it's funny that Colin brings up the movies. And then I bring up that movie because Brent wrote into beyond@ign.com.
Really?
That's where we work.
Yeah.
With a question for you there, Ryan.
Oh, okay.
This is Brent from Australia.
Oh, I remember this
Yeah.
question.
Since I've been listening to some earlier episodes of the Two Best podcasts, I noticed that the Scoopers were making quite a bit of mockery about Ryan's movie-going habits. So does Ryan still make people sit through the credits?
If I drove, then yeah. If I gave you a free ride to the movie theater, then yes, I expect you to.
You're still fired up about this from iRobot from like 13 years ago.
Wait, what? Was that where we were?
We went and saw iRobot, and this is one of the ones where it happened.
I never saw iRobot with people.
All right, fine, whatever.
You would fit in well in Japan.
I saw that by myself.
No, really.
Whatever.
The first time I watched iRobot was not at the
Fine.
theater. It was like a Blu-ray or
I must have been
DVD.
crazy.
Heavenly Sword.
Anyways,
Was it I Am Legend?
I have no idea. Yeah, that's right. There you go.
All right, yeah,
All the Will
there you
Smith
go.
movies run together. That's the one where he punched an alien, right?
Welcome to Earth, robot.
Vampire robot.
So yeah, like if I drove, I will expect people to wait. But I guess if I
Why
didn't
do you want to
drive
watch
it-
the credits though? Because there might be something at the end.
There might be something at the end.
Well, the first time it ever happened, you said because you wanted to show respect.
But I also like the idea of like properly viewing everyone that worked hard. Like if I kind of sometimes it disappoints me if someone reads an article in IGN and doesn't even care to look at who wrote it. You know, so the thought of like someone spending years of their
Who
life
is the
on
best
something.
boy grip on this particular film?
Yeah. Laugh it up, Chuckles.
But I was gonna say you would fit in well in Japan. They do that. Like when the movie ends, everyone sits through the credits, and it's only loud foreigners like myself who would get up and be like, "All right, time to go."
Yeah.
Meanwhile, everybody's
You're just dumping your popcorn on all
they
over these
can't
people. and like, don't worry, they'll get it.
and they can't even read the credits. They have no idea what a gaffer is in Japan. They're just because the credits all scroll up in English.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I just think it's polite, but more. All right. More importantly, I think it's important to see if anything happens at the end because I've been burned by that before, and I love seeing
Even a
secret
movie
endings.
that obviously something's not gonna happen at the end.
You never know.
Gran
I've
Torino?
been surprised.
He comes out of the ground. He was not dead.
Yeah,
Sorry, I
just
spoiled Gran Torino.
I actually never saw that.
Oh, I
so-
didn't say who dies though. There's two people in the movie.
Right.
Two men.
All right.
Well, one's a boy, one's a man. Obviously, Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
And this
All right,
other
he
kid.
basically told you what happened.
Yeah,
All right, let's move.
All right.
But
Well,
how does he die, or does
Yeah.
He gets shot. But he doesn't have a gun. He grabs for a lighter.
he? I love it.
I ever tell you the story about how I ruined the Matrix for kids, the third Matrix? All right, this is a quick aside, but it's a conversational podcast. In college at Mizzou, I did a cartoon in the paper. And I don't remember how, but I got into an early screening of the third final Matrix movie. And so the comic the next day was, first off, it was called The Adventures of Gary and Quinn. And Gary Pinkel is the football coach. Quinn Sullivan at the time was the basketball coach. So it was a sports comic. And for no reason at all, I just had one of the characters standing there. And he's like, in the new Matrix movie, Trinity dies. So does Neo. And it was a strip. I put it out the Friday the movie premiered. I put that in the paper so people would be reading. Like, what the fuck?
Oh man! I was gonna ask you, did you do the art as well as the writing?
Yeah, I drew it. Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
I want to see some of these.
Okay.
Do you still have them?
Yeah, no, it's the internet. Yeah, they're around somewhere.
Let's find them.
Okay. And then Colin, Brent had a question for you too. How come Mr. Fallout, Colin Moriarty, hasn't appeared on GameScoop?
I have it.
You've been on many GameScoops. Yeah, sorry, Brent. You've missed a few episodes somewhere along the line. You should double back and listen to them. Lay Gary writes in to beyond@ign.com. He has quick-fire questions. Colin, do you think that Sony will come up with a Metroidvania, Castlevania game for the Vita?
I hope so.
God, I hope so. That'd be rad.
Like I said a million times, if they release one on 3DS,
Once
I will
a
buy
year.
it. Yeah, one a year is perfect.
Okay.
Why not? Why not? You know,
Ryan,
those games are so good.
Clements,
Yes.
do you think that both the Cydia games will come to the PS3 as part of the remasters collection, or do you think a new Cydia game will come to the Vita?
I think it's more likely a new one would come than them remaster. I don't know how well they sold here that they'd want to remaster it, because the remasters seem to be specific to like extremely huge franchises. And although the Dissidia games I adore and I know that were very popular for those that bought them, it's not like they had like this huge, colossal worldwide impact.
Okay.
It did in my brain, but yeah.
R-dubs. If you had to choose one game or game franchise from any system from the past to be remade or continued, what would it be and why?
God, I would say Deus Ex, but they just came out with that.
Nailed it.
TIE Fighter.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, good.
Why?
TIE Fighter. Because I've been playing a lot of Wing Commander lately, and that's really made me think how good TIE Fighter is.
Gotcha. Greg,
Good choice.
if you had to choose one thing to live without, would it be trophies or chicken wings? Now, Colin, we haven't talked about this yet. Colin Moriarty, for the first time in his life, very, very close to passing me in trophies. I've held on forever. I'm level 18, 70% right now. You're level 18, 67%?
Yeah.
It's big time right now.
Yeah, it is.
And so what happened is over the weekend, it came to light. Colin was playing Madagascar, Penguins, Dr. Blowhole returns again. And, he declared that it was super closer than ever been. And I could not work up the energy to do it. We talk about this all the time on the show. Ebbs and flow in our trophy whoredom. We're always trophy whores. But there's moments where you're just like, I don't want to do this. I want to play other games. I want to do this other stuff.
Definitely.
And I'm definitely in that moment right now to the point where I don't mind. I'm ready for you to pass me. But I've said that before, and then all of a sudden I get bit by this bug and go.
Yeah, we're in a dangerous time right now because these great games are coming out. Obviously, I'm going to be really consumed by rage. And I'm going to be consumed by rage.
You're gonna be consumed.
Show
me your words.
And then Skyrim comes out. Obviously, we'll both platinum Uncharted 3, so that's a wash.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, like, things can happen, Yeah. Like, you can, and, we...
I'm sure I will be rebitten by the bug to go back into it. And so all I can hang my hat on is that the prediction I made at the beginning of the year, of course, was to continue to dominate you in trophies for our year predictions for 2011. So if what happens is I get back into it, and I'm ready, because I will. I'm going to eventually care. But, like, I tried to play Alter Beast that weekend. You did it. I'm like, I forgot how much I hate this game. Like, I hate this game. I cannot do this. I cannot.
That game is fucking garbage.
Push
Let's
myself
just
to do
call it what it is, yes?
Yeah, of course. And so, like, anyways, you're going to get lost in Rage and Skyrim. Uncharted, Batman will be big trophy games for me. And then that's when I can start working on the Penguin Returns blowholes. And I can play the Rancho game with the lizard.
Oh, Rango.
Yeah, that's it. So there's time for me to do it, but it's a very exciting time. Like, are you excited to take the lead for the first time ever? Like, I'm going away this weekend. Like, there's no possible reason you shouldn't do it this weekend.
Yeah, it'll be this weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited. I mean, it's just that, like, we have Payday now.
Oh, yes, we do.
I've been playing Rochard. My review goes up for that tomorrow. So these aren't, or at least Rochard isn't a great game for trophies, but I have God of War Origins. I have I've been playing Dark Souls.
That's the problem,
I mean,
right?
it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm going in a million different directions.
And
right
we're
now.
getting into review season when it's literally you don't have time to play stuff you're not reviewing.
Right.
So that's when it'll get
Hey,
the
Carl.
most hectic.
Yeah.
Let's watch Hot Tub Time Machine tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night. I have plans tomorrow night. Sorry.
God damn it.
It could be.
This is probably the 4th time you've declined me on Hot Tub Time Machine.
You got to book early.
I think it's like the 2nd time. Yeah, I have dinner plans tomorrow night, and Saturday I have plans. Sunday is football. You can come over on Sunday and watch football if you want. The Jets are playing the Raiders.
Oh, well, that sounds like a great time.
Come watch the Jets play the Raiders.
He's not going to come.
10 o'clock. Beer and wings.
10 p.m.
They have good wings, too.
10 p.m. or 10 a.m.?
10 a.m.
All right. No.
Okay. That's
I'll
your prerogative.
I'll be with my girlfriend at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's your prerogative.
I mean, I'll be with my girlfriend at that particular time, not that she's my girlfriend at the time.
Okay. That hurt my head.
Okay.
But I see what you're doing now.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a Podcast Beyond, episode 207, I think it was.
Only
I just
93
threw away my
episodes to
paper.
300.
Oh, man, where are we going to do that live event? The moon, I tell you. Remember that, IGN.com is what we are based out of, and you need to come read IGN.com and OneUp.com.
And OneUp.com.
Support our dubs over there. Also follow us on Twitter. IGN is IGN. OneUp is OneUp. I'm Game Over Greggy. Ryan is Plum Cider. Colin is No Taxation. R dubs, what are you?
R. Winterhalter.
Oh, that's easy, okay. And also we started this new thing where, you know, how we used to talk about how many questions get thrown away that, you know, do it. The official Podcast Beyond My IGN page is being run by M Dog. You remember him?
M Dog
bought the shirt. You can go check out. He picks questions from the kids who submit questions on the blog, gives them to us. We answer. This week, Colin answered a whole bunch of questions. They will be up. You can get to that by going to the Podcast Beyond article on IGN.com. It'll be hyperlinked out. Ryan, take me home.
All right, it's a bit of a special.
Special
day.
Oh, it's a special day.
Special day. So during the course of this week, we didn't get any song submissions that I saw. Maybe something got lost in the junk mail folder, but I didn't see any. By the way,
That's weird.
If you are sending me a song for Podcast Beyond, because we always end Podcast Beyond with a song, as you may know,
we don't sing anymore, though.
Yeah, we don't sing anymore.
We let the other kids do it.
Now, I would just like to point this out. This is a very important note. If you want to send in a song to be played on America's Most Beloved Podcast, Podcast Beyond, attach it to the email so that when I'm scanning down all the questions, I see the little paper clip. Yeah. Because that's honestly the way that I look, because I can't go through every question a second time to find the song. So anyway, do that. But didn't get any submissions this week.
That's weird.
I decided this week to go back to a little old tradition that I used to have. A little chestnut, yes.
Remember that old chestnut?
So I decided late last night that I was going to be flying to New York City next month to see SM Town live at Madison Square Garden, which is a giant K-pop concert that I'm extremely excited about, because this will be the first time that I will see most of these K-pop stars live, and it's pretty rare for them to come to the United States. This is very exciting. Ryan, I don't know if you realize, but I'm fucking pumped.
You're a giant K-pop fan.
The biggest, and especially Girls' Generation, aka Sonia Yoshide, and wait, I said it wrong. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep going.
Mr. Texas.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to play one of their songs in celebration of this fine event. And this is one of their classics. It's Tell Me Your Wish, but also could be considered called Genie. It kind of has like two different titles. If you would like to support them, I would highly recommend you import any and all of their albums. It's they go by like Girls' Generation, SNSD, or Sonia Yoshide. That's their Korean name. And you can basically import them on sites like yesasia.com. That's the one that I use to import all of my CDs, get them all legally. SM also actually puts out a lot of their artist stuff on iTunes as well. So you can actually just download it right on iTunes. Pay a nice little price, get a little K-pop, get yourself fired up for the club. Let's listen to Girls' Generation's Genie or Tell Me Your Wish. It's a classic. Go watch the video. It's adorable. Beyond.
Turn it up. Just turn it up. That's right. Come on.
소원을 말해봐. 네 마음속에 있는 작은 꿈을 말해봐. 네 머리에 있는 이상형을 그려봐. 그리고 나를 봐. 난 너의 진이야. 꿈이야. 진이야. 그림판을 타고 달려봐. 넌 내 옆자리에 앉아. 그저 내 헷갈림 속에 모두 던져. 가슴 벅차 터져버려도 바람결에 날려버려도 지금 이 순간 세상은 너일까. 그래요 난 널 사랑해. 말들이 넌 지겹지 않니 평범한 생활에 넌 묻혀버렸니 이제 그만 깨어나 넌 나의 superstar shining star superstar 심장 소리 같은 떨림에 할리에는 몸을 맡겨봐 이제 이 세상은 오직 너의 무대 눈물 소리 같은 파도가 내 가슴에 너의 재훈이 나는 너에게 영원한 biggest fan 그래요 난 널 사랑해 언제나 믿어 또 열정비 다 주고 싶어 난 그대 소원을 이뤄주고 싶은 행운의 여신 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your boy 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your wish 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your dream 내게만 말해봐 I'm genie for your world 소원을 말해봐 DJ put it back on 그래요 난 널 사랑해 언제나 믿어 꿈도 열정도 다 주고 싶어 난 그대 소원을 이뤄주고 싶은 행운의 여신 소원을 말해 너의 뜻한 길을 삼기만이 널 나의 뮤직 재능기를 보여달래 넌 나의 기쁘가 가는 소원 삼기만이 난 너의 해 너의 진이 내게 들어줄게 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your boy 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your wish 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your dream 내게만 말해봐 I'm genie for your world 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your boy 소원을 말해봐 I'm genie for your wish